Elisabetta Cocciaretto gives her thoughts on Coco Gauff after shock win against her in Doha. It wasn't to be for Coco Gauff in Doha. The Americans' Qatar Open struggles continued into the 2026 season, suffering a shock defeat to the world number 5-7 in straight sets. Elisabetta Cocciaretto defeated Gauff 6-4, 6-2. Italy's Cocciaretto was understandably delighted after the match, securing her place in the third round of a WTA 1000 tournament for the first time. During her on-court interview, Cocciaretto shared her thoughts on Gauff. Elisabetta Cocciaretto says it was an honor to play Coco Gauff. Thank you for coming here to watch us. It is incredible, the tournament here, said Cocciaretto. It is an honor to play her. She is such a great example to me. Coco Gauff versus Elisabetta Cocciaretto, match stats. She is a really great player and a great battle. It was an honor to share the court with her today. I am really happy to be in the next round here in Doha and to play in front of you guys again. Coco Gauff and Elisabetta Cocciaretto's head-to-head record. The win was Cocciaretto's first against Gauff, having lost their first 3 meetings, all in straight sets. She was then asked if her win in Hobart earlier this year had given her confidence. It was an unbelievable tournament for me, said Cocciaretto. I came to play as many matches as I could and played 10 matches in a row. Also, I came here to try and play more matches. The Italian is focused on winning as many matches as she can in Doha, but admits her focus is on the Winter Olympics in Milan. I think this week is a little bit different for us in Italy, as I think I am more focused on the Winter Olympics than the tournament, she said. I am cheering for the Italian athletes, so maybe that is the key and why I am playing better? Of course not, but playing more matches helps you win more matches. It certainly does, and Cocciaretto will now prepare for her third-round match against another American, and Lee, on Wednesday, February 11. What is going wrong for Coco Gauff? Gauff's 2026 season hasn't exactly gone to plan. After she failed to defend the United Cup title with Team USA, Gauff suffered a comprehensive quarter-final defeat at the Australian Open. To make matters worse, Gauff was caught smashing her racket backstage, an incident she would rather have kept private. Now, she's lost in Doha. And not for the first time. Gauff has lost 4 consecutive matches at the Qatar Open, and last one at the event 1,093 days ago. With all due respect to Cocciaretto, Marta Kostyuk, Katerina Siniakova, and Veronika Kudermetova, Gauff shouldn't have lost any of those matches. A player of her caliber should be making the quarterfinals and semifinals of WTA 1000 events with ease, but it just isn't happening for Gauff in the Middle East. Her record in Dubai isn't much better, 7-4. If she wants any chance of fighting for the #1 ranking later this year, Gauff will need to bounce back from her defeat to Cocciaretto and make a deep run at the second Middle Eastern WTA 1000 event of the year. The 2026 Dubai Tennis Championships begin on Monday, February 16. Beyond the scoreline, Elisabetta Cocciaretto reflects on her triumph over Coco Gauff. In the high-stakes world of professional tennis, where expectation and reputation often overshadow raw humanity, rare moments arise that do more than reshuffle rankings. They touch something deeper: respect, inspiration, and the spirit of competition itself. One such moment occurred at the 2026 Qatar TotalEnergies Open in Doha, when Elisabetta Cocciaretto stunned the tennis world by defeating Coco Gauff in straight sets, 6-4, 6-2, advancing in a tournament where few had expected her to make a dent. But the true story of that victory isn't found merely in statistics or the upset itself. It's found in Cocciaretto's thoughtful, sincere reflections in the aftermath, revealing the mindset of an underdog poised not only to win points but also to honor the sport she loves. The upset, reality meets rare opportunity. Coming into the match, Cocciaretto was positioned as the underdog both statistically and psychologically. Ranked world number 57 and entering the main draw as a lucky loser, she had already defied the odds just by being there. Gauff, a former Grand Slam champion and one of the brightest young stars in the game, loomed as both a formidable opponent and a standard against which many measure success. The match was more than a fixture on the calendar. It was a litmus test for Cocciaretto's belief in her game. When the final point was played and the scoreboard confirmed the Italian's victory, it was more than an upset. It was a moment of affirmation. Talent, preparation, and fearless execution can still rewrite expectations. A statement rooted in respect. In her post-match comments, Cocciaretto made it clear that this victory was not merely about ranking or glory. She described the opportunity to play Gauff as an honor, acknowledging her opponent's status as one of the sport's elite even in defeat. This wasn't a throwaway compliment. What she communicated was something deeper about sportsmanship and perspective. For every player who steps onto court, opponents like Gauff represent more than a name. They represent aspirations, benchmarks, and the loftiest standards of competition. Cocciaretto's respect for that isn't faint praise. It's the quiet humility of a competitor who knows that to beat greatness, you must first respect it. The inner clockwork, how she saw the match looking beyond the surface, her thoughts suggest a profound understanding of what it takes to win at the sport's highest levels, aggression balanced with awareness. Cocciaretto talked about entering the match with clarity and purpose, tuning out distraction and focusing on what she could control, her intensity, shot selection, and tactical clarity. This speaks to a maturity in her game that transcends raw athleticism. Embracing pressure, playing against a world top 5 opponent isn't just about tennis skills. It's about how you handle the weight of the moment. Cocciaretto's ability to stay engaged point to point, rather than being overwhelmed, shows a psychological resilience that is often the dividing line in elite competition. Winning with intent, not just good fortune. Being a lucky loser doesn't diminish her victory. In fact, it amplifies it. She seized a second chance and turned it into a defining statement. The narrative here isn't about luck. It's about taking advantage of opportunities with conviction, reflection, and growth. What the win means to her. For Cocciaretto, this victory isn't a final destination. It's a stepping stone. Her reflections emphasized gratitude, growth, and a readiness for future challenges. There's a sense of perspective rooted in the understanding that today's success is tomorrow's motivation. She noted that playing Gauff was an honor, an acknowledgement that greatness on the tour isn't something to be belittled but respected. In doing so, she illuminated the core ethos of competitive sport. Respect for one's opponent doesn't weaken the win, it dignifies it. Beyond the baseline, what this means for women's tennis. This moment in Doha resonates far beyond a single match. Unexpected narratives fuel the sport. In an era where data, rankings, and seedings often dominate the conversation, an unheralded player rising to defeat a star reminds fans why tennis remains unpredictably beautiful. A deeper narrative of mutual respect. Cocciaretto's comments carry a message. Beating a top player doesn't erase admiration. It can, in fact, deepen it. This attitude,